fast SUVs used to feel like a strange idea. They annoyed purists, confused loan managers, and delighted anyone who wanted sports car pace without giving up ground clearance, family approval, or luggage space. Now they are everywhere. And the Volkswagen Group has become particularly good at this formula. The Lamborghini Urus, the Porsche Cayenne, and the Audi RS Q8 all speak to different buyers, but the idea is the same. Put serious performance into an SUV body and let practicality make speed look sensible. Which is why the Škoda Kodiaq RS feels like a logical next step. The regular Kodiaq has already done all the hard work. It's premium, practical, spacious, and well-equipped enough to make some entry-level luxury SUVs feel slightly nervous. Now add the RS badge, a badge Indian enthusiasts already care about thanks to the Octavia RS. And suddenly, this becomes very interesting.
This red beauty is the Škoda Kodiaq RS. Would you call it an Audi RS Q8 on a budget? Not really. But this could very well be a cleverer way to spend your fast SUV money. Hey, don't tune out just yet. Hear me out. The Volkswagen Group has become rather good at selling us fast SUVs at different levels of financial appetite. At the top, you have the Lamborghini Urus. Then there is the Porsche Cayenne. Then the Audi RS Q8, which is still very expensive, but at least lets you pretend you made a sensible decision. So no, it doesn't belong to the same mechanical family. Those cars belong to the MLB Evo side of the empire. This one is built on the MQB Evo. So it's not a baby Urus or an edgier Porsche Cayenne or a junior Audi RS Q8. But the idea is familiar. Take a practical SUV, add a serious engine, give it all-wheel drive, tighten up the chassis, put a badge on it that enthusiasts actually care about, and suddenly the daily driver has launch control. Brings us to the more meaningful comparison. No, this is not the poor man's Audi RS Q8. This is the grown-up man's Octavia RS. And in India, that could mean a lot. The Octavia RS was never just a fast Škoda in our country. It has become a bit of a cult car. Quick, understated, slightly nerdy, and just rebellious enough to make its owner feel like they have beaten the system. The Kodiaq RS is for the same buyer, but a few years later, when you have an extra set of parents, in-laws. There are children now, so child seats, school runs, school bags. There is games like golf because midlife crisis, so golf bags too. And then airport runs, airport luggage. Of course, enough space in the boot for luggage, not because you're fleeing from the state, but you want to flee from this new life every now and then. So essentially, this car is for sports car people whose lives have grown faster than their right foot. Visually, Škoda has not gone full Jim Bro with it, which is good. You get the RS bumpers, gloss black elements, black window surrounds, roof rails, 20-inch wheels, a rear spoiler with finlets, a red strip between the taillights, and that illuminated grille strip. It looks sharper and meaner than the regular Kodiaq, but it is still quite restrained. And that's a very Škoda RS thing, right? Even the Octavia RS never really needed massive wings or any comedy vents. People who knew, knew. People who didn't found out at the next traffic light anyway. The Kodiaq RS has the same vibe. It does not shout that it is fast, though I do wish there was a little bit more visual drama. This is a big SUV, and some colors will make it look more executive than exciting. Thank God for those red brake calipers and those good-looking wheels. This is essentially for someone who still wants all the performance, but doesn't really want to explain their life choices to anyone. Inside, the RS treatment is clearer. Black leather, red contrast stitching, sportier steering wheel, paddles, aluminium pedals, Sports seats, virtual cockpit, big infotainment screen, smart dials, panoramic roof, and a Canton audio system.
But the real highlight of this cabin is not this red stitching or these sporty seats, it's the balance that the car achieves between driver's happiness and the family's well-being.
The front seats are heated, ventilated, controlled through these beautiful touchscreens, and I quite like how they behave. It's the best of both the worlds, touchscreen as well as tactile touch. You get powered and memory seats as well, and high support extension, all of which make the front end really comfortable.
And that's important because fast cars will impress you in the first 5 minutes. Good seats, both front and rear, will impress you after the first 5 hours.
The second row slides and reclines. You get climate control, you get rear sun blinds, USB-C charging, bottle holders, tablet or phone holders, and all the usual Škoda cleverness. Umbrella in the door, door edge protectors, bag hooks, double-sided boot mat, waste bins, you name it, and it's all there.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event.
Yeah, so none of these are going to get your pulse racing, but this car has to do two things, right? It has to keep the driver happy, while at the same time make sure that the others are also entertained, they don't feel irritated at all. So all these creature comforts and entertainment functions are absolutely necessary. The only place where you will probably feel irritated if you are my size, my height of 5 feet 8 and my size as well, is the third row, because honestly that's only good enough for young kids or people who you don't like much. So I'm not getting back in there. If you keep the third row up, you will barely have space for maybe a backpack or your baby stroller. With the third row down, you will have enough luggage space for a typical Indian family's light luggage. Fold the third and the second row, and you have enough space to move an entire household if you need. Okay, I'm exaggerating.
Under the bonnet is the familiar 2-liter TSI engine, making 265 PS of power and 400 Newton meters of torque. It is paired with a 7-speed DSG and all-wheel drive.
Honestly, 265 PS, that power figure may not sound groundbreaking in today's times, where every new electric SUV is throwing such numbers at you the way influencers throw fake Instagram followers at different brands. But the important thing here is the context. It's a 1.9-ton SUV, a 3-row SUV at that, able to carry 7 people. So the question isn't really, is it powerful enough on paper? The question is, can it make 1.9 tons of Kodiaq RS feel fast enough?
And it can go quick. The 2-liter TSI has always been one of Volkswagen's better party tricks. It has torque low down, it pulls cleanly, and once the turbo is properly awake, the Kodiaq RS gathers speed in a way that feels deeply amusing for something this practical. It's not savage, it doesn't have the V8 drama, it doesn't have the instant shove of a typical new age EV, but what it has is that clean, controlled sense of pace that you get from the VW Group engines, and that speaks volumes. The cabin stays calm, the engine does its work, and then you look down and realize you're moving much faster than the lack of drama suggested.
And the DSG performs best when you are committed. You see, in the relaxed driving modes, it feels like it's trying to save itself, it's trying to save you from yourself, it's trying to save fuel. But when you take over the reins yourself with the paddle shifters behind the wheel, that is where things get properly exciting.
This is not a Golf GTI on stilts. The GTI feels like the engine is urging the body forward. The Kodiaq RS feels like the engine is managing mass with authority.
So yes, there is a difference. One is a hot hatching, and the other is a serious 3-row SUV. And then there is the acceleration. It will do a standstill to 100 in under 7 seconds. And that, of course, depends on the amount of ethanol you're blending with your petrol, but that's some serious figures. And it feels genuinely quick. Of course, there is no drama because there is the all-wheel drive system, which is making sure that all the power is being put down cleanly. So yes, there is a seriousness to this acceleration in a very similar way to the kind of seriousness you will find at European immigration queues. But you get the drift.
On cars like these, the chassis decides whether the sporty badge is real or just ornamentation. The Kodiaq RS gets Dynamic Chassis Control Plus, which means you can literally fine-tune how you want the chassis to behave. There is progressive steering, all-wheel drive, and those 20-inch wheels all contributing to that effect. But systems are only useful if the end result feels right. The good news is that Skoda has not tried to turn this into something silly. It's still a Kodiaq first, which means it's confident, it's stable, it's mature, it is long-distance friendly, and then you have the RS layer attached on top. And because that RS badge finds its roots in Skoda's rally success, you also get an off-road mode inside this car. So after you're done enjoying the winding roads on these mountains, you can simply come to locations like these without breaking a sweat. Have your picnic with your family, camp, do whatever. The car will enable you to do all of that without worrying about scraping the expensive bodywork, the paint, or even those wheels. And should you want to amp that up a little bit more, maybe go rally sporting with it, probably you can do that with the right set of wheels and tires. The chassis and the suspension, and that engine of course, will support those endeavors. In softer settings, the ride breathes very well. The 20-inch wheels do make themselves known over sharp edges and bad patches because sporty wheels and Indian roads are not childhood friends, but it does not feel brutally stiff, which is important because SUV with a bad ride is just an expensive way of making your family dislike you.
When you put it in sport mode, the chassis definitely tightens, but not in a way where it feels like the car is shrinking around you. If someone tells you that hey, the car suddenly shrinks around you, or it starts feeling like one of these compact crossovers or a hatchback or a sports car even, you honestly need a weighing scale or need to develop some honesty. This is a 1.9-ton vehicle after all, which means that it does make its weight feel evident. It does make all that mass evident if you're not tidy with your lines. But at the same time, when you do know how to manage all of this mass, all the electronics, all the hardware will start complementing that attitude.
The steering is quick enough without feeling nervous. The front end has decent bite and feedback, and the all-wheel drive system lets you get on the power early without turning every corner exit into a negotiation.
It doesn't feel as playful as the Octavia RS. It feels calmer, it feels more natural, it feels more serene. And honestly, for a market like ours, or driving conditions like ours, it's not a bad thing. You know, places where you have such narrow winding roads or broken patches, dust, dirt, surprises at every bend, that comfort and that confidence is something you need more than showing off. And which is where this makes absolute sense.
Safety kit is strong too. 9 airbags, ESC, traction control, electronic differential lock, multi-collision brake, hill assist systems, tire pressure monitoring, adaptive cruise control, front collision assist, lane assist, side assist, rear traffic alert, and exit warning. So yeah, there are plenty of assists on board, including ADAS.
The ADAS feels decently calibrated too, but I prefer turning most of it off because it's still more European in its nature and its calibration, which means that it's still not understood that in a place like India, lane discipline is optional. So where does that leave the Kodiaq RS? It's certainly not the most playful. It's certainly not going to replace the Octavia RS in the enthusiast folklore. But this could very well be the best RS that Skoda sells for India because of how practical it is and because of how it manages to still be emotional at the same time.
A Golf GTI is more fun. An Octavia RS is more romantic. A sports car is more special. But the Kodiaq RS can be the only car in the house without making the enthusiast feel completely defeated. 7 seats, usable ground clearance, all-wheel drive, off-road mode, proper comfort, huge practicality, strong performance, enough RS character to keep the driver interested. So no, this is not an RS Q8 on a budget. That comparison flatters it the wrong way. This is to be looked at as an Octavia RS for the more mature driver. one who needs 7 seats, one who needs plenty of boot space, and one who still wants to have that getaway when they really have the time and the inclination to do it. Not as sharp, not as light, not as pure, but more usable, more family-friendly, and probably much easier to justify at home. This is not the RS for the younger version of you. This is the RS for the version of you who has grown up, packed the family, loaded the bags, checked the tire pressures, set the navigation, and then when nobody is watching, still activates launch control at an empty signal. Maturity is overrated, but in a car that is this mature and can still go from 0 to 100 in under 7 seconds with all of that, it writes its own story.